The lowest point of your life is not what you think it is. Most people assume the lowest point is where God is furthest away, where heaven goes quiet, where faith runs dry, where everything that once held you together finally gives out. But what if I told you that Scripture reveals something completely opposite? What if the lowest point is not where God abandons you, but where God moves closest to you? Stay with me, because what the Bible, you know what the lowest point feels like. It's not just sadness. Sadness you can manage. The lowest point is different. It's the moment when sadness stops feeling like an emotion and starts feeling like a location, like you've arrived somewhere you can't get out of on your own. Maybe you got news recently that knocked the air out of you. A door closed so hard it shook you. A person you trusted walked away and took part of your identity with them. A diagnosis, a loss, a failure so public it felt like an execution, and you were sitting in the aftermath of it, trying to gather the pieces, realizing that some of them might be too broken to put back together. And the people around you are still living their lives. The world keeps moving. Your phone keeps buzzing with things that feel irrelevant now. And inside, in the place nobody can see, you are running completely, dangerously empty. You're not just tired. You're the kind of tired that rest doesn't fix. You've prayed, and even the words feel hollow. You've tried to believe, but belief feels like a performance right now. And the lowest point has become your address. I need you to hear what God says to that person, not to the version of you that has it together, to the version of you that is flat on the floor right now. Go back with me to 1 Kings chapter 19, to a man named Elijah, arguably one of the most powerful prophets in all of Scripture. This man had just called fire down from heaven. He had single-handedly confronted 450 false prophets and watched God show up in a way that left no room for doubt. A mountaintop victory of historic proportions. And then, within days, Elijah was running for his life, afraid, alone, broken. He sat down under a juniper tree in the wilderness and said to God in verse 4, "It is enough. Now, O Lord, take away my life, for I am not better than my fathers." That is a man at his absolute lowest. Not a man who never believed, not a weak man, not a faithless man, but a mighty man of God, completely undone. And notice what God did not do. He did not send a rebuke. He did not send a lecture on why Elijah should have more faith. He did not explain the theology of suffering. God sent an angel, and the angel touched him and said simply, "Arise and eat." There was bread. There was water right there at his head. God had already prepared provision before Elijah even knew he needed it. And then when Elijah lay down again, the angel came a second time, touched him again, and said, "Arise and eat, because the journey is too great for thee." 1 Kings 19, verse 7. God didn't tell Elijah to push harder. He didn't say, "The journey requires more from you." He said, "The journey is too great for you." God acknowledged the weight. God acknowledged the limit, and he met Elijah exactly there, at the point of empty, with exactly what he needed. Here is what God is doing at your lowest point that most people completely miss. He is not waiting for you to recover so he can show up. He is showing up so that you can recover.
Psalm 34, verse 18. This is David speaking from personal experience of devastation. "The Lord is nigh unto them that are of a broken heart, and saveth such as be of a contrite spirit." The Lord is nigh. That word means near, close, present. Nigh unto the broken heart. Not near the triumphant heart, not near the put-together heart, near the broken one. God has a specific gravitational pull toward people who are at their lowest, because that is the moment they are most open to receiving what only He can give. And Isaiah 40, verse 29 says, "He giveth power to the faint, and to them that have no might He increaseth strength." Read that carefully. He gives power to the faint, not the strong, not the ones who have it together, the faint, the ones who have run out. And to those who have no might He increaseth strength, meaning God doesn't wait for you to find a little strength before He works with you. He steps into the zero and begins to multiply from there. This is the economy of God that defies all human logic. The less you have, the more He gives. The lower you fall, the closer He comes. The emptier you are, the more room there is for Him to fill. And then hear what Jesus Himself says in Matthew chapter 11, verse 28. Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. He didn't say come to me when you're stronger. He didn't say clean yourself up first, get your faith together, stop crying, and then come. He said, come as you are, labor and heavy laden and all. Come in the middle of the lowest point. Come in the middle of the breakdown. Come thou, and I will give you rest. Let this settle into the deepest part of you. Your lowest point is not evidence that God left. It is the address where He shows up. God does not wait for you to rise before He draws near. He draws near so that you can rise. And write this one down. The angel touched Elijah before Elijah took a single step. God moves first, always. Psalm 147, verse 3. Listen to what God is described as doing. He healeth the broken in heart, and bindeth up their wounds. He healeth, present tense, active, ongoing, and He bindeth up their wounds. That is the image of a physician wrapping an injury with precision and care. God is not looking at your broken heart from a distance and saying, that's unfortunate. He is actively, personally, tenderly working to heal what is broken inside you. He is in the wound with you. And then hear what God says in Isaiah chapter 43, verse 2. God speaks directly, not about the absence of hard seasons, but about His presence inside them. When thou passest through the waters, I will be with thee, and through the rivers, they shall not overflow thee. When thou walkest through the fire, thou shalt not be burned, neither shall the flame kindle upon thee. Notice what God does not say. He does not say, I will remove the waters. He does not say, I will prevent the fire. He says, when you are in the waters, I will be with thee. When you are in the fire, the flame will not consume you. The lowest point, the flood, the burning. God's promise is not to keep you from hard places. His promise is to be with you in them. And His presence in the middle of the hardest season is what makes the difference between being destroyed and coming out the other side.
Think again about Elijah. After the bread, after the water, after the rest. Verse 8 says, and he arose and did eat and drink, and went in the strength of that meat for 40 days and 40 nights. One encounter with God's provision at the lowest point gave Elijah strength for 40 days. That is the multiplication that happens when God meets you at empty. You walk away with more than you came with, not because you worked for it, but because He is the God who shows up at zero and multiplies. So here is what I want you to take with you today. Stop being ashamed of your lowest point. Stop hiding it. Stop performing strength you don't have. Stop pretending the weight isn't real. Because your lowest point is not a reflection of your failure. It is an invitation for God's nearness. In the God who came to a broken prophet under a juniper tree, the God who said, come unto me, heavy laden, the God who is nigh unto the broken heart, that God is with you right now. In this, in the lowest of it, you don't have to climb out before He comes. He is already there. And what He brings to your lowest point, His presence, His provision, His healing, His strength, is enough. It was enough for Elijah. It was enough for David. And it is enough for you. Lay it down today. Stop carrying what was never designed for you to carry alone. And say out loud, God, I'm at my lowest, and I believe you are closest. That declaration is not weakness. That is the most powerful prayer you can pray in this season. If this message found you exactly where you needed it today, leave a comment below. Just say, He is closest here, because somebody scrolling needs to see that today. And if this channel has been a source of strength for your faith, subscribe and stay with us, because every single week we return to the Word and we find our way back to God. Your lowest point is not the end. It is where God begins.